Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mighty DAO Web3 Career Series. I'm Lydia from Mighty DAO Marketing Team, and I will be your host today. It's 11 p.m. in Taipei and 7 p.m. in Dubai. We are about to begin, and it's wonderful to meet all of you here. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and I hope this X-Space interview provides inspiration for your career path. So before I introduce our guests, I would like to take a moment to give you a brief introduction about Mighty DAO. Our core mission is to connect high-quality talents with opportunity in the Web3 industry. And we bridge the gap between skilled professionals and positions across the Web3 landscape and offer the latest insight in this industry. So today we are exploring a day in the life of a strategy and operations manager. We are honored to have Warda Iqbal with us. Warda is a strategy and operation manager at Bybit in such a rapidly changing market. Connecting the micro strategy with execution is a huge challenge. So today she will share how she navigates these workflows. Hi, Warda. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Hello, hi everybody. I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I'm really looking forward to this chat. Just to give you a little bit background on myself, I work as a strategy in agency for years, so I know like how exactly wild the gap can be between a high level strategy and actually landing it. So that's why I'm so excited to dig into your daily work and see how you handle this. So let's jump into it right now. Could you briefly outline your main duties as a strategy and operation lead?
Yes, so I am Varda. Just a little bit of background about myself. I have been in the marketing and advertising industry for nearly a decade now. And I moved into Web3 for, I think, 2.5 years ago. When it comes to a day, on how my day to day looks like as a strategy and operations manager, it's more like planning the next marketing project for the team, overall aligning the projects and the timelines, brainstorming ideas on product marketing, working on new launches and events marketing. So it's very much marketing driven, along with the project management and timelines management.
That sounds like incredibly comprehensive. And then I'm also like curious about the day-to-day realities. Tell me like what does a typical workday look like for you and how do you structure your time?
Okay, so when it comes to typical day or how do I structure my time, what I do
Mm-hmm.
is the minute I come to work is when I will basically streamline what I need to do. So I tend to write a lot. I'll make notes on my laptop. I'll try to first streamline what is required. I'll check my messages. And while checking my messages, I'll have to write down my priorities. If there is any urgent thing that I need to look at, if I need to reply to anything. So I'll just start making notes first. That's something which I really do so that it helps me streamline stuff. And then I'll keep on going back, and then I'll keep on slashing those things that I have done, which makes me, gives me immense pleasure when I strike through anything that I've completed. So yeah, making notes is something which is very important for me. So that's what I do when I start, and then I keep on checking my messages. Once I'm done checking my messages, my work chat, replying to people, then is when I move into real work and meetings. So a couple of meetings here and there, depending on how much the workload is. And then once I'm done with the meetings, I try to block my calendar to where I can work on the stuff that I need to present. Because obviously when you are in meetings, you are discussing things, and then the actual work starts once the meetings are over. So I'll book like a 2 or 3 hours for my slot for myself where I will work on the projects that I need to deliver, the timelines and all those things. And then obviously before, a lot of timelines are end of day, so before closing, I will release those deliverables, and then I'll, uh, and then I will leave for my gym and all those things, and then obviously I'll come back and occasionally check my work chats. That's how I structure my day.
Oh my God, I feel like you have like 48 hours a day. So, for the next questions, what are the biggest operational challenge you face in such a fast-paced industry?
The biggest challenge is that it's very, as you mentioned in the question, is only it's very fast and things move very fast. So I think this week only, Monday, Tuesday, there was a major changes in the market with BTC dropping drastically. So we need to be always on the toes when it comes to this industry in particular. And time is of essence, and that's the major operational challenge. If for instance there is a major market movement that has happened, so it can the post cannot come out tomorrow, the post has to go out today. So we need to make sure, when we are working in this kind of industry, in this kind of dynamics, that we are prepared for anything and everything. And that's the biggest challenge, on how to ensure that we are ready,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah, I can imagine that in such a fast-paced industry. Okay, I think we can moving on to the marketing strategy and growth, which I think is a hot topic for our audience. So for the first questions about that, I want to know like what is the biggest difference between marketing in Web3 compared to the traditional industries?
See, marketing in Web3 is very different as compared to traditional industry, in a way that there is a plethora of things that are coming in when it comes to Web3. It's not just one key focus area for Web3. Like I was when I have 5-6 years of agency experience as well, and then I may move to short video, and then I moved to gaming prior to joining Bybit. So the priorities were very clear, that this is the gaming app, this is something which we are launching, this is the campaign that we need to do, and this is what we will do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was very clear that okay, fine, this is what we need to do. But when it comes to Web3, the opportunities are massive, and the variety is a lot. So when it comes to marketing products, when it comes to marketing the DeFi network, or as simple as promoting tokens. So there are so many tokens and so many different opportunities on those tokens as well. So so that's, I think that's the major difference when it comes to a Web3 and traditional one. And also the other thing is that the Web3 industry is very, very fast paced, as I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
earlier as well. That also makes a very big difference. Like if you are marketing a toothpaste, you can take like
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks or 4 weeks to come up with a strategy or a TVC and film and all those things. But the strategy to market a token will be completely different as compared to selling a toothpaste. It needs to be quick, it needs to be or for instance, meme tokens just ride on the hype and the community. So again, the marketing plan will be completely different as compared to an FMCG product. That's what I would say. So these are the key differences in my opinion.
Hmm, that's the really like sharp observations. I think like the path is like really, really fast in Web3 industry.
Exactly.
And yeah, I can imagine like how crazy it will be if the time is like so limited. And I want to know like since Bybit is a massive global platform, right? So how do you balance a standardized global brand with the need for the localized relevancy in different markets?
See, localization again is a very good topic that you have highlighted. Localization is very important because one size cannot fit all, and it's a very a bigger it is a very important thing to localize content. And it is not just for Bybit, it's for any and every industry that we are working on. So when it comes to localizing content, first the what we do is that, personally what I prefer doing is that we come up with one big narrative, and then there will be renditions of that narrative depending on what can fit that localized market. So for instance, we are working on Valentine's Day. I'm just giving you an example. But
Mm,
Valentine's Day in many markets is not, it's frowned upon, and it is not celebrated when it comes to, couples love. So how can we market it in a different way, but we still keep it relevant? So again, then you have to change it, the narrative, a little bit depending on which market you are targeting. So it can be, it can we can move around from couples love to self love, or it can be, love for everybody. So again, so the tweaking needs to happen when it comes to localization. So yeah, so your
mm,
overarching concept is ready, and then how it goes from one market to another, depending on how sensitive that market is, or how that market will perceive your message, that comes under localization. So when it comes to me on how I strategize it, I will be basically working on one big idea and then different localized narratives from the local teams.
okay, I see. I think maybe local insight is also like quite important, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Local
Uh,
insights are 100% important, because
yeah,
when you are working with the global team, you cannot know about every market. I mean, you cannot know about what's happening
yeah,
in
exactly. It's
Southeast
very
Asia,
hard.
in Asia, or America, because obviously you don't have the micro view. You have the macro view. So it's very important to speak to the local people there, understand the
Mm,
market, and let them decide what type of visual they want to go ahead with, what kind of copy they want to go ahead with. Yes, obviously, as a part of the global team, I will provide them the main what do you call, the main narrative and big idea, and then I'll let them
mm-hmm.
localize it as per their as per what they seem fit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like definitely an art, like to keep that kind of like balance and know all the like local insight.
Yeah.
Also, like I'm curious about your take on the growth levers, and in your opinion, what is the most effective growth lever right now? Is still like key opinion leaders or now shifting to community?
See, I think both goes hand in hand, and it depends on what type of things you want to get done. KOLs are expensive, but the but the community can drive conversions as well. So it depends on what type of target you have, and what type of item you are trying to sell. If, for instance, the key opinion leaders, in my opinion, works when I was previously working for gaming or FMCG
Yeah.
segment, they used to work well in bringing awareness. But when it came to conversions, it was very difficult to make sure that they are actually they I mean, it was not difficult, but I would say that there were very handful of influencers or KOLs who could actually bring conversions. So yeah, for upper funnel, KOLs were great, but when it came to actual conversions, the big KOLs didn't make that
Yeah.
much a difference. So when it came to sales, so when you're looking at the numbers in particular, you need to look at what type does this KOL have a cult following who will actually buy my product, or or help me get a sign up, or help me get a deposit, or any. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, those are the key metrics that you will measure the success of your campaign. So it depends, but with community driven campaigns, if the community is strong enough to influence people
Mm-hmm.
and build that kind of trust, then of course. So I think it depends on the type of KOL you are taking, the type of following that KOL has, and and then if the customers will actually convert and help and if that KOL will help you drive that conversion. And same is the case with the community as well. When it comes to
Mm-hmm.
communities, what is the type of audience that is in the community, what is the level of influence of that community collectively. So these all are those tiny things which we need to assess before moving forward to saying that okay, this is a good thing or a bad thing. And also I feel like it goes it's not something one size fits all. It's a trial and error. So maybe KOL might work, but in the next campaign KOL might not work, and community might be the way to go. So you cannot say that oh, this is working we can disregard KOLs completely. No, I feel like both goes hand in hand.
Yeah, 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 totally agree. Yeah. Okay, for the next questions, I think it's our last questions on strategy. Talking about gamifications, given your background, we know you worked for Garena before. So, do you see the opportunities to apply gamification tactics to the crypto trading or Web3 industry?
I feel like gamification is already happening in the Web3 industry. If you, in general, if you see, we are seeing gamification happening with Read to Earn, with the mini games that Telegram has introduced. So the gamification opportunities are limitless when it has been combined into Web3, and it has already been actioned at large. In different types, where people are getting rewards for as simple as in crypto when they are reading an
Yes,
article, or it can be those Telegram mini apps or mini games that they have that a lot of people have launched within Telegram itself. So this has already been I cannot say successful, yeah, but it has, this model has gone out publicly and has been tried by a lot of people already in the Web3 industry.
yeah, people like rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. I think like we will see more of that in the future actually.
Of course, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I saw the McKinsey's report today morning, and they also said that like gamification for the consumers, it will be a like really really big trend in the future and happening in like 2026. Yeah. So let's shift the topic a bit and talk about your personal journey. Like many of our audience are looking forward to like pivot into the Web3 industry. So in your experience, from your experience, we want to know like what motivate you to move from Web2 to Web3, and was there a specific turning point for you?
So I have worked in Web2 industry for quite a while, and then this came off as Bybit came off as a new opportunity for me, and with something which I have never explored. Like I have experience in promoting and marketing FMCG products
Mm,
massively, financial products massively, like banks, traditional finance. And then I moved towards a short video platform, and then I moved towards gaming, and then after gaming, this was presented as an opportunity to work for the crypto industry. So that was that again. If you see, my background is something which where I have switched a lot of industries. And when this opportunity came my way, I was very excited because, to be very honest, I my knowledge about this industry in particular prior to joining was not that much, and particularly in South Asia, the crypto
mhm.
is still evolving, and with the laws and all those things coming around, and the licensing and everything coming, regulations coming
Yeah, it's
over.
just a start.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just the start. So back in 2023 when I joined, I was a bit skeptic as well, and I was like, should I join, should I not join? But I took it as an opportunity and a challenge to push myself to understand more about the
Yeah.
industry itself. So that is the main reason I joined, and it was a completely new industry for me. And I'm glad I joined because I got to learn so much about the industry itself, how things work, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So yes, so I took it as an opportunity, and majorly as a challenge, to to up my skill set.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is an inspiring like story. So I want to know like is this opportunity comes to you, or you are already like decide I want to pivot to Web3, then I just like searching around.
It came, I would say, it came of as an opportunity, and also I
Okay.
applied for the role. But I was very open to moving. At that point, I was open to moving, and I was looking to explore
The more,
the
yeah,
role.
explore.
Yeah, and because I moved from Pakistan to Dubai, so this role required relocation. So I was looking for opportunities where I could move from and
Mm.
relocate. So this
Yeah, yeah,
seemed
yeah.
like a very good fit for me, because obviously it's a great exchange. It's a good name, a very good reputation in the market. So that's why I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. If this is
Mm.
something which has been presented to me, I mean, I would take it. So that was the major reason for me to make the move, and then I eventually joined the Web3 industry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So far, it seems like wonderful adventure for you.
Yeah, or
I'm pretty
yes,
sure like you are really enjoy of it, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, 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 I can tell. So, what are your like professional goals for the next 3 to 5 years?
I would like to build brands. When it comes to building brands, I would say, because my background is hardcore marketing. So I would like
Yeah,
to venture out into helping brands strategize, and helping brands in making their position
favorites.
themselves. Yeah, exactly. So how to pivot a brand in a certain way that they want is something which I would like to work on. And it can, and I don't know if it can be multiple brands, or it can be one brand only. But what I am looking forward to is building a brand from either scratch, or also reworking and relaunching a brand. So that also, that this is something which is very exciting, because when you have, when you have an empty slate, and you work on something completely new, and then you launch it, that's something which is very exciting, and I would like to explore that in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can relate because I work for marketing. I think we can explore all the latest things and latest like campaign we can do, latest approach. I think that is quite interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely, it
yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm sure you will like achieve these goals like very soon. Okay, so things like let's move to the next sections. I think things like Mighty DAO is a talent hub. I think this is very important for our audience. In your opinion, what is the number one skill, no matter the soft or hard skill, you think currently is missing in the talent pool?
See, I would not say one skill. I would like to highlight two skills, because it's a combination. So basically, when I see people around me, either they are all talk, or they can execute. But we do not very seldomly we find a combination of the two. So when you can present but you cannot execute, that's also a problem. But when you
Yeah.
can just execute but you cannot showcase what you did, that's also an issue. So we need balance, and a combination of two of these skills: presentation and execution. Because if you're just doing all talk, you are not doing any execution. Obviously you can go to a certain extent, and but then you cannot fly high. When it comes to just execution but not showcasing what you have actually done, and you are not able to present it, obviously you cannot move up. So these two skills are required to actually go, work as a combination to drive
Mm.
success for any candidate. in the market, and this is something which is very rare to find, the combination of the two.
Okay, I see, I see. I will definitely take note of that. I think that is very valuable for our audience.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to someone aiming for a role like yours?
See, one advice I would say is, again, be very open and understand the market, because the market moves very fast. Understand the
Yeah.
dynamics of which of the industry that you are working for, and then work accordingly. And also, don't shy away from working hard. It does pay off.
Okay, okay. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you so much, Wada. That brings us to the end of my questions. I think like we still have some time left, so I would like to open the floor to our audience. Like if anyone has questions for Wada, please feel free to ask. Let's wait a moment to see. Is there anyone want to ask?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Hi, yeah, I'm Mina from Taipei. Hi, Wanda. I just want to know that we know that Web3 is the 24/7 industry, right? So, how do you manage your team across time zone effectively without causing burnout? Could you have would you have some experiences to share with us? Thanks.
I mean, okay, so basically, when it comes to working around the clock, what we usually do is that we have different people in charge for different time zones, and then whatever time zone it is, we will action that person. So then it does not cause burnout for one person, for one resource only. So depending on which time zone the query has been raised, depending on how big the issue is, it is resolved, in that manner only. If it's a high priority issue and it requires urgent assistance, then obviously the team who is in that time zone will be responsible for that query, and then that matter will be resolved in that way. So the main key regions that are available, we have the people resources in those regions, and then they take the they resolve and provide resolution accordingly.
Okay. Thanks for your sharing.
Is it anyone has questions for Wanda?
Hello, Wanda. This is Jen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. What you share is really very, I think it's quite exciting work on this position. So looks like you need a lot of time to organize yourself. So I have very curious about how do you personally stay up to date with new projects and trends? Do you have any daily habits or recommend tools and share for us? Thank you.
That's quite a good question. Thanks, Jane, for asking. I would say that when you for me particularly, I would read a lot when I'm going to for work. I have my alerts on as well. Particular notifications. You can also now, there are a lot of AI tools that can feed you information, so that's also very important. Google Alerts, ChatGPT, again, communities are very big. So any Telegram community that can also feed you information. information, a very good source of information. Then we have, obviously we have X. That's where major conversation regarding Web3 and crypto is primarily happening. So I would say social media, community, reading up online, and that's how you can keep yourself up to date on the major industry news and the trends and topics.
Wow, it looks like you are you're a sponge. So you can absorb many information. It's really amazing. The other one question is, I want to know your idea about the sustainability because now it's really still a big topic. I mean ESG. So in your position, do you have any strategy and operations you will connect this topic and share into the team and work on the maybe add or something?
See, sustainability, in Web3 in particular, we have, there's a lot of I would take it towards CSR because there's a lot of things that are being done when it comes to sustainability angle and doing good for the society at large through Web3, which you guys can read up. A lot of There are a lot of organizations that are doing multiple things when it comes to providing scholarships or the Web3 scholarships or hackathons or trainings. So there are a lot of things that even the different companies are doing, Web3 projects are doing. So I think that that's a very good thing, and a very good point that you have raised. So when it comes to society at large, you can see multiple projects doing multiple things altogether, so that can eventually make an impact for the society at large.
Thank you for your feedback. I think I learned a lot from your side. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone has question for Wangdar? I think we got like still have times, so feel free to ask. Okay, I think I have one from myself. I want to know like what was the biggest like cultural shock experience when moving from traditional industry to Web3 industry, and how did you survive?
See, as you mentioned earlier, Web3 never stops, and that's the major difference and the shock that I felt. It's so fast paced, and it's so and also there is no, it keeps on going round the clock. So there is no resting or period,
Mm-hmm.
and something which you need to train yourself, or I would say rewire your brain to for this industry, because this is how the industry is, and this is what the demand is of the industry. So that was this is the major shock that I faced when I moved from the traditional industries that I've worked previously to Web3.
Yeah, and I curious about like are you sometimes feel like a little bit like overwhelming about this? Like lots of the informations and a lot of things going on inside
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. It does. It
industry.
does. It does get overwhelming, and there are times when you question your choices, big but then again, it is also rewarding, and it is also uh, this is overall a great learning curve and great learning experience uh, to be in this kind of industry. So at the end of the day, when you are when I look back, I would say I don't have any regrets joining this industry. But yes, it can be a bit overwhelming for new joiners. So I think this is something which everyone needs to, you know, make their mind when they're coming and when
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
joining.
And how do you like recover from this? I think you still need like some time to digest maybe.
Yes, I think it's very important to keep your to have some other activities as well, apart from the usual life you have in
Work.
your career.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you can have something in parallel running apart from work, so that you can take your mind off, and that's what will keep you sane.
Okay, okay. Got it. Okay, like there is
Hello,
anyone?
Iqbal. Yes, here. Jen again.
Okay, please.
Sorry to disturb. Iqbal, actually, I'm a little bit curious. You say, basically, before you stay in Pakistan and you move to Dubai and work for the Web3. Because I love the position in Web3, as what we are understanding, which is learning now, say a remote job is the most popular.
Hmm.
But why you choose to move to Dubai? Because if if you can choose to do your choice again, would you prefer to have the on-site work together with team, or is really like a totally remote and work together with the team? Thank you.
See, it depends on from company to company, and also for with me, I wanted to move, and I wanted to have a different experience. So it was not just moving industries; it was also having a different cultural experience, moving countries. So I think it was a dual shock for me when it came to switching career, switching industries. It was basically relocating as well. So that was quite a big learning curve for me. I was much more independent. I learned a lot. I grew as a person as well. So it was more of a personal growth that I wanted to do for myself, and that's when I moved out from Pakistan to the UAE. And I'm glad that I got the opportunity, and I took it as a challenge, and I'm very happy about it. So to answer your question, it was more about for me for personal, have a personal growth, and I have come a long way to what I was in 2023, and we are in 2026 now, so almost 3 years for me since I moved, and it has been great so far. So yeah, that was the major reason. I mean, and to answer your second question, whether I would like to take a remote role, I mean, um, again, it depends on person to person. For me, in particular, I enjoy working with people face to face, but there is no harm in going remote because there are so many apps that keeps you well connected. So it depends on what type of work you have and what kind of setup you are working, and what type of people you are working with.
Thank you. Actually, I just a little worried about if the remote work can affect, you would say, impact the efficiency of the workflow. That
It
sounds
doesn't.
like it's, oh, it
No,
does.
no, no, no. I don't personally. I don't think it does, because at the end of the day, you are required to complete. But it depends on what type of work you are doing. So if you are doing, if you have something which you have to, obviously there are in person meetings or you have to meet someone, so obviously that will impact your work. But if you are someone who has to present a strategy, and your work does not require you to be physically present in office, then it doesn't impact wherever you are. So again, I feel it depends on which department you are working for, a, and secondly, what type of uh, what is the, the company that you are working for. That also plays a role. So working remote or hybrid is, in my opinion, doesn't really matter, because when even when you are working remotely, there are so many things that can keep you connected. Work chats, calls, video calls, all those things have made life so easy that I don't think the connectivity is an issue. But at the end of the day, whether you are working from home or working from office, you need to make sure that you are delivering work, because at the end of the day, that's what matters the most.
Oh, really good, insightful input for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.